are live. It's good, y'all. Welcome. So I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling? Hope all is well out there. I am DL Saint. Y'all know what time it is, man. Sorry for the confusion. I mixed up my dates. The show we're doing right now, I thought we were going to do tomorrow, and I had scheduled a show for tomorrow for today that we're going to do tomorrow. Like, it is what it is. I am. There we go. I was checking out my stuff. You guys know I run multiple screens, and I'm making sure that I can see the feed running. The feed is running good. Looks like we're okay. We're going to be talking about the dating world, sexual marketplace, and we have the amazing Shelby Kingsley with us here today. We're going to get a real, in my opinion, I think we're going to get a real good understanding of the other side. That being, what are women thinking in this sexual marketplace thing, which is something we definitely need. We got a lot of brothers over here trying to figure it out, but we're all talking to each other. No one's talking to women. Well, guess what? I just brought us an amazing woman up here that's going to help us figure it out, man. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. And here she is right here, the very lovely Miss Shelby Kingsley. What's good, girl? How you doing? Are you muted? I think you might be muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Yeah. So that's what's up. And I'm giving you fair warning. When the fellas jump in here, it's gonna be a lot of holla. They gonna want to holler at you, girl, because you are a very lovely young woman. So glad you're here. Thank you for taking time out to come over here and talk to us about this thing we call dating.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. And what we normally do here, we'll give the camera all to you so you can tell everyone who you are pretty quick. Like, just give us a breakdown, like who you are, what you're about, where you live, that kind of stuff. Just so folks know. And it is what it is. And before we do that, we got Dr. B in the building. What's good, fam? Pleasure seeing you, man. Pleasure seeing you. And here we go. I'm sitting here. I'm all messed up, girl, trying to produce. I'm like, I could be the worst producer, I think, sometimes. So Dr. B, yo, what's going on? He was like, yeah, I agree. Although I'm taking, told you, holla. There it is right there. He's already letting people know. So let everybody know who you are and what you're about.
Yeah. I'm Shelby. I'm 29. I live in Mass right now, about like an hour from Boston. I'm single. I'm just like living on my own, doing my own thing. Lots of different hobbies all over the place. Yeah.
And that's it, huh?
Yeah.
So you're near Boston. Whenever I hear someone say Boston, I'm always like that commercial. My cousin, whatever, from Boston. I don't know if you ever seen that commercial. It's a beer commercial, and it's always this. My cousin, so and so from Boston. I forget his name, but that's the tag. And he comes in and does all kind of crazy stuff. So I don't know if you ever seen that. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't have a Boston accent though. I'm from New Hampshire, so I'm more of a New Hampshire girly, but yeah, I just
just moved. Did you go to college or anything like that, or?
Yeah, I went to college to become like a personal trainer, and I did that, and I hated it, and then I went back to school for accounting, and now that's basically what I do. It's accounting.
It's accounting. So you've gone to college, like 29 years old. Went to school to be a personal trainer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that you are fit. You know what I mean? Probably, you know what I mean, walking around looking good. What's up with the weather? I'm originally from Cincinnati, and like I hated winters growing up. So, when I was a kid, people used to ask me, what are you gonna do when you grow up? I'm like, I'm gonna move because I can't stand these winters, and I did move. So how do you handle those winters up there?
Yeah, I hate winter. I was like, I hate winter. I have to move. I moved to Florida for like 5 months, and then I hated it there too, and then I came back home.
Whereabouts in Florida?
Daytona Beach.
Okay. Oh, look at you. Like I'm in Tampa right now. I've lived in Tampa and I've lived in Miami. I like Florida. I can deal with the humidity. I just can't deal with the
Uh,
cold.
the Tampa area is a lot better than Daytona. So
Is it really? I've never really kicked it in Daytona.
yeah, it's just like a giant party scene, basically. But
Oh, yeah, I'm too old for that.
yeah, me too. Not about that
I
life.
did. Yeah, I did my damage. So the
Yeah.
reason I brought you on is there's a lot of talk right now. People just seem to be so unhappy with the current state of dating
Hmm.
here in the US. So what's your take on it? You think it's horrible? You think it's okay? You think it's horrible, but it will be okay at some point? What's your take on dating?
I know. I saw that question that it was like, will it get better? I'm like, I hope so, but I'm not sure. I'd say right now it's not really good. Like, I don't want to say like, oh, there's nothing out there. There's no good people, because then like I don't want to be in that mindset. I'm like hopeful that there's still good people out there, and but I'd say a majority of it, it's not good.
It's not good at all. So because you have so much experience. Not that I'm saying you've been out dating a whole lot of people, but in different arenas. Like so, like the hometown thing, high school, and then you go off to college, and then like you said, you moved to Florida. You probably done some traveling. Have
Mm.
you noticed that it is it pretty much for you? Have your experiences been kind of bad across the board, or did you have maybe success in one area, which was better than another area, or anything like that?
I feel like, well, like high school or like growing up until now, I felt like dating was like better. There was like more options type of thing. Um, I'd say like in the past few years, I feel like dating has gotten like dramatically worse. And I just like I see it from like other people's perspectives, not just my own. Or like I hear from people like all across the world, like, oh, my area sucks for dating. Maybe I should live somewhere else. And then it's like, no, this area sucks too. And like Daytona was not, that's probably one of the worst spots to date people. Like, I mean, I was in a relationship at the time, but just like seeing like other people's actions and stuff was like not good. So I wouldn't say it's like an area problem. I feel like it's just like, I don't know, social media or something along those lines.
Social media plays a big role in this. We got brother Dame in the building. Can I get some podcast? What's good, fam? What's good, fam? Appreciate you. This is how we met. We met through brother Dame, and appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I owe you one. Yeah, I'm stealing your guest, man, because you got the coolest guest, bro. I'm gonna bring them over here. Um, and we got Joe Cool in the building. One of my newfound friends, man. He's a part of the world. I just joined, man. I tell you what, it's crazy. It's crazy. And here go the keeper of the knowledge, brother, Mr. Pitney in the building. What's good, Mr. Pitt? What's up with you, bro? Yeah. We here to make it happen. So I definitely agree with you. And there's a sizable age difference between the two of us. And I remember dating, when I was in high school, whatever, in the 80s.
Mm,
And the puppy love thing, and it was a different way
yeah.
of dating back then. And you're right. Like what? Because I think about this all the time. Like, well, what changed, bro? Technology.
Yeah.
Technology has made it to where it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I feel like more people like hung out in person or met people like through people hanging out at parties, whatever. And now it's more like people are isolated and just like using dating apps as their form of dating.
As their form of day. I mean, and it opens up the world to average people.
Mm.
And maybe that's a good place to start because a lot of people in the red pill manosphere part of YouTube. Have you ever heard these terms before I get into it?
I've heard of red pill, but not the rest of the stuff you're
The
talking
rest of like manosphere. So
about.
basically, yeah, so you've heard of red pill, and the manosphere. Some people call it the mano swamp, where it's basically just a bunch of guys who get together, and they're trying to compare notes and figure stuff out and get help from one another. Be it with dating, be it with finance, be it with fitness. A bunch of male stuff, but it mostly centers around dating. It almost always comes back to dating, and
Mhm.
there are a lot of big names in that space, big podcasts and stuff like that, authors and whatnot. I'm not going to bug you. You've probably heard most of the names like the Fresh and Fit podcast, Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper, Michael Sertain. You got, people like me, D.O. Saint. There's people over there doing what they can, and more folks more and more men are coming, find themselves in these spaces looking for answers. Some of them get bitter. Some of them are just too lazy to do any changes or whatever. But
Mm,
it almost always turns to pointing the finger at women and saying, well, the dating market is messed up because of women. And then
mm.
I talk to women and they're like, no, the dating market is messed up because of men. So you have this thing that goes back and forth. Um, who would you say? What we just agree? You said it's mostly technology. You think that's what really kind of threw a monkey wrench in it?
Yeah. Yeah, like the dating apps and I mean COVID and everything, like everything being shut down and people not like hanging out as much. Like I'd say all of it combined together.
Okay, and so one of the things they talk about, guys always try to solve problems. That's when men are like problem solvers. They want to fix the issue. So like, well, what's going on? We need to figure out women. And we're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of different tenants, and people are gonna be reminding me of stuff too as we go through in the chats. I need y'all to do that too to bring stuff up, guys. And be respectful, guys. We got a very cool person with us here who agreed to share time with us, man. So let's use it to the fullest of our abilities and let's get the real, leave y'all emotions in check. You know what I mean? Don't be tripping. But one of the
Might
things that, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it might trigger some people, so it's expected.
Yeah, he says, man, we men over here, they better not get triggered. I'm gonna start clowning. My guys are real cool. But one of the things that I would hear a lot in the male spaces is this thing about hypergamy. Have you ever heard the term hypergamy?
No.
So hypergamy basically is wanting it's a dating strategy where women pretty much want a guy who's kind of on their level or
Mm,
better. So women are going to kind of date across and up, and it's just wanting the best. So when
mm,
I first heard this, I'm like, hypergamy. I'm like, well, shit, I want the best. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm not out here trying to settle for nothing either. Like, I want to get the best. I'm like, I think hypergamy is a pretty good dating strategy. But the problem is, uh, it kind of goes unchecked amongst some people where it's like constant. Like they'll get a guy and then they'll find another guy they think is better and to go to him and then see another one and go to him
Mm,
and then not look at other dudes. So because of hypergamy,
mm,
they say that most women
mm,
only see like 20% of the guys out there. Like I call it the 80, I don't call it. It's, I refer to it as the 80-20 rule. Some people say it's 90-10. Some people say it's 199. You know what I mean? But basically, it's like the vast majority of women are going after the same dudes and completely overlooking everyone else. And
mm.
so what's your take on that? Now we've kind of brought it up. Does that make sense at all, or do you think that's complete BS?
Um, well, the fact that like what I want to speak on that is that I feel like uh a lot of men complain that like the women want like a successful man or whatever. Um and I see it as like why aren't the men taking this time? Like if they don't feel like they're in a good like financial spot or successful spot or whatever, instead of focusing their time on like finding a woman, why don't they take that same energy and focus it in on like building themselves and building something for themselves to like become in a better spot. And I think a lot of women like want that. They want a man that's like striving to better themselves, but instead they're just like, what, the men are like, why don't you just accept me for where I'm at instead of like taking the opportunity to better themselves.
Right. That's funny because most of the guys in the red pill world, that's exactly what they say. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Instead of complaining about women not seeing you, how about you put in the work, become
Yeah.
the best version of yourself, get into the gym, become
Mhm.
more attractive, do what you
Yeah.
make more money. And then as a result of doing all that hard work, women become a byproduct. They will see you now. So,
Yeah.
but then you get into now there's these fight. Well, why should I have to do that? And like everything you just said.
Yeah.
But I mean, have you experienced that like with just friends or just people you've seen like women moving around? Have you seen the hypergamous nature in some, or is it something like, well, not really?
No, because I think a lot of my friends have, um, I'd say kind of like settled in a sense. They're not out here trying to like get the top or the best or whatever. They're just like they choose a guy that they like and they want to be with, and they're just with him type of thing.
Yeah, that's right. And Brother Vikings in the building. What's good, fam? Brother Vikings, like funny she would say that because that's exactly what Fresh and Fit says. That's exactly what most of the people, most of the guys, the content creators in the red pill space are saying. You're gonna have to work on yourself, become the best version of yourself. It's almost the motto from everyone that I've seen. At least the guys that I watch. There's a lot of guys out there who say some wild shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I don't really listen to their message, but other people do. Um, Huh, that's pretty good. So, and then there's some guys out there like some doom and gloomer guys who are like, no matter what I do, no woman is ever going to talk to me. You have
Yeah.
that, and then because I've seen women in hypergamy in action. I've seen it in real life. You know what I mean? I sit back and watch it, and it's like, oh, okay, I see what she's doing. Am I mad at her? No. I think someone in the Dr. B84 was saying hypergamy is probably a subconscious thing, like just like pre-selection. And brother Pitty was saying, yeah, social media is also an infidelity machine. All of your significant others' exes are a comment or a DM away. That's another good point. Because of that technology, it seems that people believe that they can reach out and touch just about anyone, and that's kind of true, right? Have you ever had maybe a celebrity or someone like that hit you up on social media, like maybe slide into your DM or anything like that? Oh, I see a smile.
A celebrity?
Or someone famous, kind of famous.
No, I wish. No.
Be careful what you wish for, girl, because
The Rock liked one of my photos, which that was like that made
are you
my
serious? The Rock like one of your photos?
yes, and that's like my dream husband, and like that made my day. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
So this is one of the biggest problems that I see with today's dating market, where back in the day, you could, some woman could have a celebrity crush or some dude could have a celebrity crush, but realistically, you're never going to see that person. You're never going to communicate with that person. That person's never going to reach out. But now with, Instagram or whatever social media platform, you can hear from the Rock just like one of my pictures. Wow. That's,
well, he didn't slide into my DMs, so
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
he's married.
I mean, so, but that is crazy. So some guy who maybe had a crush on you in 8th grade or whatever, he's been doing the work trying to get himself together. He finally gets to a point like, okay, I'm going to approach Sister Shelby. And then as soon as he meets you, you're like, oh, I haven't seen you since middle school. Oh my God. Let me tell you this. Look, The Rock, just like my picture. He is like, I can't compete. Right?
I guess so.
I can't compete. And another thing I would say too, with today's sexual marketplace, it's hypersexual. I mean, so many women
Yeah.
are willing to sexualize themselves to a degree just for attention.
Mhm.
Is there any truth in that, you think, or am I missing something?
I think it goes kind of like it's like the fault on both people. Like I couldn't say it's just like on the women because the men feed into it. Like they're the ones that are liking the photos, and like the more sexual the photo, the more likes it gets from men. So if the men are upset about the woman being too sexual on the internet, then stop like feeding into it. Then you know.
That's a good point. So you're saying women are doing it for the attention, and if men stop giving them attention, they would stop doing that thing, whatever that thing is. So if you were posting a bunch of pictures, just you, athletic clothes, everything's loosely fitted, nothing tight. You're not bending over and looking between your legs as you're picking up the weight,
Yeah.
just normal, just doing your thing.
Yeah.
If men would like those pictures, you're saying more women would do stuff like that, maybe be more conservative, or what?
Possibly. I'd say that like so say I post a picture that was just like if I was just wearing like loose clothing, nothing showing, whatever, fully covered. That would probably get way less likes than if I'm obviously in a bikini picture. That's going to get more likes. So that's obviously going to like feed women into, oh, I get more likes, more follows if I post that stuff. So obviously they're going to be posting more of that content.
So what's your take on that? Do you think women are posting these things for attention only, or is this contributing to the fact that they're only going to go after the attention, they're only going to have to go after top tier dudes, even though the simpleton guy is liking her picture, she doesn't care, she still doesn't see him. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I get where you're coming from, but like, well, it's on men to stop liking those photos because women are going to go to where they're getting the attention. But how do we get women to not want so much attention? I guess is what I'm asking.
I'm sorry, it depends on, like, I feel like it's not always um a post for attention. Like if I think I look good in a photo, I'm not necessarily always posting it because like, oh, I hope these guys like me or something. It's just like, oh, I think I look good in this photo, I'm gonna post it. So I feel like it depends on the woman and what they're trying to get out of the photo, so it could vary. um Sorry, what was like the other part of the
I get
question?
you. Well, I was just wondering. Well, should women just stop wanting the attention? Was the second part of that.
I mean, I don't think that's like possible for all women across the board to just not want attention ever again. Um, I think people gotta like work on themselves if they're posting just to like get attention. And they probably need to like work on themselves so that they can validate themselves without getting validation from external sources.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now, and we're gonna shift gears here, and we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue on this path, but some other stuff I wanted to ask you. But before I do that, so this word right here, merch. So you're gonna see that word a lot as we get through this interview. So every time a woman says, "I feel like," people type in the word merch. And
Oh,
it just it's one of those because people don't realize, like not just women but men too. People don't realize how much that word is being used. So Fresh and Fit started this thing like every time a woman would say, "I feel like," it would say merch because they made a T-shirt of a woman that says, "I feel like," and it was like one of their T-shirts and sold like crazy. So people were like, "Oh, merch." My thing is, I'm always saying, you know what I mean. I need to cut that out. I'm watching myself in interviews and I'm like, "Oh, you know what I mean," because I'm thinking. And I'm like, I gotta cut that out. If we played a drinking game, every time you said merch or every time I said, you know what I mean, people would pass out drunk, probably die from alcohol poisoning. So that's what I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. That
I'll
is,
when I say that, I feel a lot of things, so that's how I express myself.
and that's everybody. That's the vast majority of the country. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's just how people talk. It's polite conversation. So relationships. People are having a hard time just getting into relationships because of the whole hypergamy thing. It seems like the vast majority of women are all chasing the same dude. So if you have the vast majority like of women out there going after, let's say, the top 20 guys, their view of men are based on that 20%. And those guys are having their way. Like these are the top, these are the tall guys, the wealthy guys, the guys who are fit, the guys who are like extremely wealthy, the guys have the nice cars, the boats, they can provide experiences. So all women tend to be chasing these dudes. And then women will say like men ain't nothing, men ain't shit, and they're all cheaters, and they do this, they do that. They all make $200,000 a year. Like, when you talk to like, well, how much you think the average man makes? Most women are like, oh, like 150,000, 200, 300,000. It's like, no, that's not what the average man makes in America. So what a lot of guys on this side are like, well, the problem with dating is these women are chasing after these dudes and they refuse to work with the guys on their level. You think there's any credence in that? Is there any truth in that?
Um, Possibly, yeah, yeah, probably, because like, say, um, a bunch of us women going on dating apps, for example, um, obviously more women are going to be liking or matching with the like more better looking, more successful men, so they're obviously going to get more matches than the men that aren't as good looking or as successful or whatever. So yeah, I could see that.
And I don't find any problem with that. It's just when women come to me and say there are no good men, I'm like, bullshit. There are plenty of good dudes. Like they're probably in your phone. You got them in the friend zone. These guys that, they're at your level, maybe a little bit below you, but they're good men and they care about you and they want to be with you and they would never cheat on you. They will buy you flowers, bring you flowers home every day, cook you dinner, rub your feet. You don't want that guy. Like you want,
Well, see,
you want, oh, go ahead.
I feel like it's hard because like I look around just walking in public or just like women that I know versus men that I know. It's like I see way more like gorgeous gorgeous women that are like nice solid women compared to, I don't know if it's my area, but like just like looking around like young men my age that are like good looking or whatever or solid men. Even like Yeah, men that I would recommend to date another woman. I could probably think of like one, maybe like two men that I would recommend to another woman. Like out of all the men I know, it's like I know one solid dude I'd recommend to another girl. That's like sad to say compared to
What's
like
wrong with the other dudes?
it's just
No one knows. I mean, you're not using names. It's not gonna be. You know a lot of people, girl. You didn't travel, so
like not good, not like like qualities like trustworthy or just yeah, different.
trustworthy in the sense that they're out there banging other chicks. Is that what we're talking about, or they're out there robbing banks? Like, what are we talking about here?
Either like no, like if they like lie or they're just like they just want sex or they're just like I don't know, they're just not like solid dudes that are like putting a lot of work into themselves and focus on themselves and just want to go into the intention of dating one woman, like that type of man that a woman would want.
That's fair. That's fair. So, like, so you say, I know a good chunk of dudes, but I can only think of a very elite few that I would feel comfortable introducing them to my friends. Huh?
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay. And Scam Likely's in the building. I ain't get to show you your flowers, bro. What's good, man? This is Shaw in the building. Brother Shaw in the building. What's going on? Brother Shaw used to work with the child support department in California, man. He is the plug when it comes to that kind of stuff. Brother D Mac is in the building. What's good? Brother D Mac is saying women's short-term decisions screw them up for getting men that they actually desire. Huh. Huh. I mean, that might be a good point there. So like short-term dating strategy versus long-term dating strategy. Do you think that there's a difference? I mean, from the female point of view, like when you're going out there, are you thinking I'm gonna meet a guy, I'm looking for a husband, I'm looking for the father of my child, I'm looking for a man who is noble and honorable, or is it just like, oh, he seems pretty cool, he's hot, let me see what's up with him? Like, how does that work?
No, I'd say, I mean, I feel like initially you like see say you see someone that's attractive, you're like, oh, I'm attracted to them. I want to see what's up. But I'm also thinking like long term, like I usually going into like dating someone, I'm like, oh, is this person gonna be my husband? Trying to like figure out whether this person's gonna be my husband. So I'm always like thinking long term, but obviously initially like being attracted to the person.
But you say when you go in pretty early on, you're thinking I'm doing this intentionally looking for my husband. Would you say that, and we're just making up numbers here, no one's going to hold your feet to the fire. What percentage of women would you say actually think that way versus he's hot, I just want to see what's up?
Um, I'd say, I don't know, 70% maybe.
You think you would say maybe 70% go in thinking I want the long term, I want him to be my husband?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I would argue that I would argue it's less than that. I would argue that women go into a situation like, yo, he's hot, we're having fun. I want to see what's up with him. He's popular. Everyone knows him. You know, it's kind of dudes who go out there and they are known for womanizing. Those guys seem to do the best in the trenches, like for whatever reason. Women to go out, like Dan Brazilian, for instance. Like, you know, I'm not a big Dan Brazilian guy, but I don't know if you know who he is, but this guy is just like a known, you know what I mean, womanizing type dude who's just constantly have women around him. And the people who are around Dan will say, yeah, man, he's like, every time I meet a woman and she'll say, I can't stand that Dan Brazilian guy, your friend, he's horrible, he sleeps with all these women, he's not trying to be with anybody. And that is very woman, the first time she meets Dan Brazilian will have sex with him.
He's got that charisma, apparently.
Well, I mean, he has private jets, you know what I mean, like the exotic cars, like, you know, money. His dad has a lot of money, like, so he's, you know, he's paid up, you know what I mean. So a lot of that, I mean, that goes a long way. When I ask women, I'm like, well, how important is money versus someone with a good character, you know, a noble, hardworking guy? In polite conversation, they'll say, oh, the noble, hardworking guy, that's the one you should be with. But then we'll go out that night. And where is she? She's over in this section with us, hollering at my guys that I told her ain't shit. Right? Yeah. Like she over there because she wants to get on the yacht. She wants to, you know, she wants to get in the Lamborghini. So you know, this is where I think the disconnect falls in, because it's like, well, people are saying one thing, but completely doing the opposite. And even these
Mm,
guys are like, well, like finish this statement right here. Good guys finish.
last.
So all these guys are like, I'm not trying to be a good guy. So you have these two narratives, right? You
Yeah.
have the Disney fairy tale narrative, and we're all raised to be the prince in shining armor and ride up and slay the dragon and save the princess. You got
Mhm.
that narrative, but that dude gets wrecked. And then you got the bad boy, right?
Yeah.
You got the bad
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like the good guy will be like, well, consider themselves the good guy, but they're really just like the pushover that has no boundaries or something. So it's like, yeah, you get stepped on. I feel like you could be a good guy with good morals, but still like have boundaries and stand up for yourself without being like pushed over by women to just let them walk all over you or whatever.
I guess I would substitute the word boundaries with like like have player energy. You know what I'm saying? Be that have bad boy vibes, some along those lines. Because they
Mm.
do, bad boys do establish that right up front, don't they? That's part of who they are. They come in saying what they gonna say, this is how it's gonna go. And then if the woman doesn't like it, they tell her to hit the bricks.
Yeah.
Whereas the good guy was like, no, whatever you want. Look, I'll take
Yeah.
you on a helicopter dinner.
Exactly. They're like, please be with me whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. It's like settle down.
Like chill out. And then the good boy is patiently weak. So we're gonna talk about the real thing here in a second. I'm gonna bring up, we're gonna get to the triggering stuff. Let's like brother Zach, VS17, what's good, fam? Thanks for coming through. First time seeing you, I believe. Welcome. He was like, trusting someone was also my biggest mistake. Um, trusting, yeah, that's always a chance. That's always a chance out there, brother. Relationships, any type of relationship, platonic relationship, relationship, business relationships. When you go to trust somebody, man, you can get bit. You can get bit in the butt big time. So let's talk a moment about what men want when it comes to relationships. So I want to give you the opportunity to guess. Like what would you say the top thing that men want out here in the world?
Um, sex.
Absolutely 100%. You are correct. You won. 100%. That's what men want initially. Men are
Yeah.
just looking, they want the sexual access. Now, after that, what do you think the top three things men want after sex?
Probably a loyal woman. Um, someone, I don't know, to respect them and to like, like, I don't know how you say that. Like, listen to them type of thing. Like, follow along with them.
Yeah, the term that they use, like follow his frame, follow his lead. But what you said to respect him.
Yeah.
A woman, she's gonna be. You said loyal, and then loyal. Then you said a woman is gonna respect him. Those were your two. What would be your third?
Um, caring.
Caring, love. He just
Yeah.
wants a woman that's gonna love him, right?
Yeah.
So love, honor, respect the guy, right? Funny how that comes out, right? Isn't that what they say when they say the words in front of the preacher? Love, honor, and respect. That's what dudes are really looking for.
Hmm.
Loyalty is huge.
Yeah.
What I mean? Loyalty is huge. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of guys aren't really getting that, and a lot of in lieu of all that, I would say that you know the loyalty and the respect and the love trumps the sex. Like dudes want sex, but once they get into a relationship, there's so many sexless relationships out there right now. Like women just withholding sex. They're married to the guy, and it's like, how can a woman do that? Would you consider that a bad thing if you're married to a man and you're like, I'm not gonna have sex with you unless you buy me a Birkin, for instance, or unless you wash the dishes?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. That wouldn't be good. I mean, I feel like a lot more to it than just black and white like that. But yeah.
Well, I mean, what would be a situation where withholding sex is warranted? Knowing men want sex that bad, like and he's married to you, and it's like, I'm married to you, and I can't even get that. So, what would warrant withholding sex?
Being miserable in a relationship.
Huh?
I feel like that usually starts happening once the woman starts like becoming not happy in the relationship and it's like going downhill and then she like doesn't feel like she wants to have sex with him.
Mm, okay, I like that. I like that answer. Because there are no wrong answers. I'm just, everyone we bring on, we have these conversations, and they go different ways. Um, So, what are your thoughts on divorce? Because I'm sitting here thinking like, well, why are you with someone you don't want to be with anyway? You're withholding sex. Shouldn't you just leave? So,
Mm.
what are your thoughts on divorce?
Um, I feel like, well, I kind of have my own opinion on marriage in a sense that, I mean, I
We want
kind
to
of
hear it.
I just like kind of question it because like the odds of divorce, it's like, okay, why get married if you have the option of like getting divorced? It's like, why not just stay in a relationship then and then break up if you need to versus getting married and then having to go through this whole divorce process? It's like, what's the point of you getting married then?
There you go. I mean, I guess my answer to that would be that people get married for the wrong reasons, both
Yeah.
men and women.
Well, that's
I go ahead.
why they're getting married, because I feel like they have to, because it's the thing that they're supposed to do. Like they feel like their time's running out, so they're like, oh, I have to get married because it's like the thing that society tells us to do.
Yeah, you get that right. Like my time's running out. I would argue that a lot of people, I would say mostly women, they want the day, they want the wedding, not
Yeah.
necessarily the marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had like an ex
And
tell me
I,
married because he wanted to have a big party. I'm like, oh, that's why you're getting married, to have a big party. Uh,
yeah, get to wear the white dress, you get to all my friends come out, get to plan and all that kind of stuff. And I'm with you, because most, I'm not gonna say most, but there are a lot of people out there who get married and then the marriage ends before they pay the marriage off, the wedding off, which is
yeah.
crazy. Like y'all got married and 2 years later y'all divorced and y'all still paying off that wedding y'all had.
Yeah.
That
It's wild.
is crazy. You said merch at least two more times. I'm surprised no one. I mean, you said I feel like, so I'm just, they being nice to you, girl. Ain't nobody dropping merch in there. I thought they'd be going merch like crazy, but the chat
Do
is
I,
just doing their thing. So say again.
I said, do I keep saying I feel like?
Yeah, she do. And I'm gonna keep saying, you know what I mean. Like that's what I'm trying to slow it down. I keep saying it so much, like I gotta stop that. Sister Rosalind is in the building. What's good, sis? Just stopping by with my popcorn. And glad I'm out of the dating scene. It's a lot of people who make those statements like, man, they're happy they're not dating anymore. And she continues, like, I think that is starting to change. More folks going to the courthouse. Yeah, I think more folks are going to the courthouse, but they're still having the big parties. I think the people who are committed to a relationship realize that that's not necessarily a smart way to spend their resources. So they
Yeah.
save the money. They put that money, the money they could spend on a wedding, they put down on a house or something like that. And then after 5 years or something, when they have money, they'll go ahead and have that big party or whatever. But the young ones, they're like, there's people been programmed like, I gotta have a big wedding day, I gotta have the white dress. I've heard stories of dudes who like the woman is like, no, we don't need to do all this, and the guys throwing out all the stops, buying all this stuff, spending 40, 50, 60, $70,000 and up on a party. I'm
Mhm.
like,
I
it's
know. I feel
insane.
like weddings are like overplayed, and a lot of people do it for like how it looks like on social media or whatever. And it's like, if I'm getting married, I want it to be because like of the relationship. Like I want to focus on just that, make it small, intimate, whatever. Like if I had the money, or if my man had the money to like be able to spend it, sure, but not just like go out of my way to spend all this money that I don't have or something just to have the party. It's like ridiculous.
Right. It is ridiculous, but I mean, that's what they're wanting to do. I guess you just gotta let them do their thing. Brother D Max said he got married at the courthouse. That was 26 years ago. And he like built himself up and done his thing. So we've already kind of established that women want the best.
Mhm.
Um, there's another thing in the red pill world, the manosphere circles. When we talk about when men and women are at their highest sexual marketplace value, it doesn't mean like their human value or who they are as a person, just in the sexual marketplace.
Mhm.
You know, there are times when you're going to be more valuable than in other times, right? So for men, in order for men to become the type of man that most women seek and want, it takes time to do that, unless you're born into a lot of money, right? Because women want men who have their finances together, or at least, make good money, dress a certain way, drive a certain vehicle, has a certain have a certain lifestyle, can provide and protect, and has his body together. So generally speaking, a guy won't start coming into his own until he's probably in his 30s. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he goes to college, and you know then goes to grad school, and then by the time he's starting to come into his own, as a, let's say, an attorney or a doctor or something like that, architect, whatever, he's going to be in his 30s before he really starts getting that money. But women, their value comes up front. It's like they're front loaded. So as a woman, like right now, like you're like in your prime, like from I would say like from 18 probably to 29 where you are, that's probably
Mm-hmm.
where women are most valuable in the sexual marketplace. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I'd say that's like where the most men are like attracted to that age type of thing.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because men are attracted to youth and beauty. When men date, there is no hypergamy. Men are date anywhere in that thing, um, and that's one of the things that hurt women, because women are get to like, well, I want these guys to have all these things. Women are attracted to these things that take men time to acquire.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another that's a big disconnect in the dating world, because these young girls are getting all this attention, and then they hit a point probably in their mid to late 30s when they're not getting as much attention as men, but they'll say, hey, but look, I'm a lawyer, I'm making $300,000 a year, I have the Birkin, I have the Mercedes, I have the houses, but men don't find those things attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the guy at her level, the guy that she wants, well, he's looking down at that 22, 25-year-old, that 29-year-old, personal trainer who's getting likes from The Rock. He's looking at her. Right.
Yeah. I think that's usually why like women, like younger women, date older men. So like 20-year-olds might date 30-year-olds, 30-year-olds might date 40-year-olds, that type of thing. I mean, I do hear a lot of like older women now getting hit on by younger men, like in their 20s and stuff. Like 30-year-olds getting hit on by 20-year-olds.
That's great. Dr. B is saying it's like it takes much longer for men to get into their prime. My life is much different now at 40 as a full-time doctor. Hey, somebody's putting it in there, letting you know, because he's up in the Northeast, girl. As a full-time doctor, than when I was 20 in college as a pre-med student. And I think women have always dated older men, but again, it's because those things they find attractive, especially security. Brother Pitney was saying, if a girl starts leveraging sex for compliance, she's just not that into you. I agree with that statement. Which, I mean, do you? Would you agree with that? Like, if a woman's really into you, she's not going to withhold sex, right? Because women want it just as much as men want it, right?
Yeah. 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 I think yeah. She's got to feel like safe and good with you and have good feelings towards you to want to have sex with you.
And then if that goes away, then you got a problem. And the least of your concerns is the money you're making at that point. Like, if she's not into you, then it's going to be over. Brother D Mac, he's saying loyalty ranks high as love and sex if I'm going to consider you for a serious relationship. And this is going back to what we were talking about before. And I agree with that 100%. Guys are out there who are highly sought after by women. The sex really ain't that great to them. In their minds, they know I'm going to smash. Like, I'm going to smash this chick. These dudes are gamed up. They have the resources and the know-how to run the perfect play to get the vast majority of women to come at them, and they do. Like those bad boys, those top 20% guys, they're gonna get what they're after. And if they don't, there's one of the things, like when I was out there doing my thing back in the day, when I was way younger than, well, I was about your age, when I was out there doing my thing, before I got hired by the FAA. So I was a little younger than you. I was broke as a joke, but I had game and I was running women. I was having fun. It didn't cost me nothing. So I realized that the money aspect of it wasn't that important, at all. So I tell dudes, like, you ain't really got to worry about the money if you got game. But I did have my pick. And if I had a woman who wasn't with my program, I ran with what I call the 3-day rule. And everyone dude out there probably has a variant of it. 3 days or 3 dates. Like, so if I meet someone within the first 3 encounters, she should be ready to smash. And if she's not, I'll move on. And
Uh-huh.
mind you, I didn't have any money and I
Uh-huh.
was getting results. The dudes with money, they run variants of that 3 day rule. Have you ever heard that before?
I've heard it like on a woman's side, like I'm gonna wait this amount of time to have sex with them or whatever.
Oh, what's that number?
I don't know. It varies for person to person. I feel like
I
for
mean,
me,
have you heard women say I'm going to wait a year, or is it women like I'm gonna wait a month, or is it kind of
uh,
like matter of days? Or
I'd say some women are like X amount of dates. Some women are like the 3 month rule. Some women are waiting till marriage. I don't know. It's different for every person.
women who are actually waiting for marriage, or they're just waiting for marriage with that guy. In other words, are they virgins and they're saying I'm gonna save it till marriage?
I think so. Yeah, there's still people out there like that.
Maybe I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think it's a lot.
not a
Maybe.
lot, but there are definitely people. I feel like people that are like Christian usually.
Them Christians, they love sinning. I'm just here to tell you, girl. That's one of the places I stay out of is the church because it's just too easy. It's just too. I'm like, you know what? I ain't messing with this. This is bad juju. I stay out of the church because them women thirsty. There's not a lot of guys in there.
Yeah.
So
Uh, yeah, I feel like I was gonna say earlier. I feel like we're in very different groups of people, like around very different people.
yeah, I think as a society we have we have changed the definition of what it is to be good people. It's okay now. It used to be you knew like, okay, this woman's gonna be a virgin, we're gonna get married. And if she wasn't a virgin, it was like shame on her. But not anymore. People like my lifetime, I've never been with a virgin. I mean, it's just one of those things. People are like, oh, you want you a virgin. A lot of guys will say that, when I'm gonna go out here and have my fun with these, these loose girls, and then when I'm ready, I'm gonna go find me a virgin and marry her. Like, bro, you crazy. That virgin will be sitting next to a leprechaun, holding his gold while riding a unicorn. I really don't think they're out there like that.
Well, see, that's it.
Um,
And when men are like, "Oh, I want a virgin," but yet they want to like sleep around with, or they want women to like give it up to them easily. It's like, I don't know. I feel like you're like
well,
asking
yeah.
people.
Well, you're expecting them to say no. I didn't realize how easy, like today's market, man, these young girls,
Yeah.
you ain't even got to ask. I mean, it's one of those things, they taking you back to the crib. Like, yeah, I'm like, yo, what were you doing here? So it's changed a lot. Yeah, guys are going to women go after women, and women know we want the sex. We all want the Foxy Brown, and it's a game you got to play. But now they're just kind of like, what's up? Let's do it. It's all good. You know what I mean? They want to do it. And so that's why we were talking about finding a virgin. I'm like, man, that would be so difficult. I think.
You're saying if you didn't get it after the third date, you wouldn't talk to them again. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's like contradicting. Because if
Well,
you want the virgin good girl, she's not gonna have sex with you after 3 dates if that's what you're looking for.
exactly. So when I was running my rotation, remember I said if I'm running a rotation, I'll let her know she's in a rotation. 3 day rules in effect. If she says no, maybe now I'm looking at her different.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, oh, she might be a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what's up with her because she did hold out.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it the other way around. It's like, well, how come more women aren't holding out? And we're only talking 3 days or first 3 encounters. And I want women to get their wiggle on too. I ain't mad at them. We're gonna go ahead and do what we do.
I
But
think
if
I
she
think
says no, I'll go ahead.
yeah, no, sorry. I was just gonna say I think both genders need to practice like sexual discipline, like same along with like the loyalty of like men want loyalty, but then they don't want to give loyalty. It's like if you wanna get it, you gotta give it too.
But
If
I
you
would
want,
argue most. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say if you want someone with sexual discipline, you should probably practice sexual discipline yourself.
But the thing is, it's easy for men to practice sexual discipline. I would argue that the vast majority of men do practice
Because
sexual discipline because they can't get none. They can't get none.
that's not discipline then.
It is discipline if I can't get it. But even when they do start getting it, they stay loyal.
Uh-huh.
Most of these dudes in the bottom 80, they don't want to spend place. They don't want to have multiple women. It's too much work, and they know it's going to be difficult for them. So they appreciate the woman they have. But but these women aren't looking at those dudes. They want the top tier guys. to
Mm.
practice discipline. It's like, well, why should they? They had to work so hard to get there.
Mm.
And now that they're there, it's like, dude in the candy shop. Why not try the Laffy Taffies?
I-
You know, shout out to Myron Gaines and them.
If I
Go
see
ahead.
like a successful man and he like, if say I go on a social media, I see a man that's like super successful and I just see him like totally in on his wife and like all in on like one girl, I respect that way more than a successful man that's just hooking up with a bunch of women.
But I hear you, but the vast majority of women seem to be going after that guy.
Mm.
And there are women out there going after I know women who only hunt married men.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is sad. So I wish more women were like you, like, you know what, that's good. Let's hold up this man right here. He's able to block it out. I got one of my best friend, you know what I mean? One of my dogs, we like this. Been around, we've known each other for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That guy has been married forever. And I
Mm-hmm.
can sit here and I can tell the world he has never cheated. He don't even look at other women.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that. But
Mm-hmm.
every time we get together, we go somewhere, I'll see women going after him like crazy.
Yeah.
They see the ring. Hell, half the time they see his wife and she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And they go up, they gunning at him. So, you know, now it's like, well, daggone, girl says, Sister Shelby said we should be practicing discipline. These women ain't practicing no discipline whatsoever. They going after this guy. And some of them are married.
Well, that speaks on their character, not his. So.
True. No, and I get my guy all his flowers. He earned it. He deserves it. I'm like, bro, that's what's up. They won the game. And you know, so but the vast majority of people, man, they out here doing other things. But no, I think the guys who go out here and they're trying to smash all these women, but they say they're looking for a certain type of woman. I would argue that woman he's looking for is the woman who's going to say no.
Yeah.
I would argue that.
Yeah.
You know, and we definitely we know for a fact that the what is it, a third of men from I was it 18 to 33, I think it is. Brother Pitney, help me out with the numbers again. It's like a third of men from 18 to 30 or something like that are virgins or had only one sexual experience in the past year.
Really?
Like, yeah. That's a real stat.
Yeah,
that is a real stat.
A lot more people are having less sex, I heard, or something somewhere. I heard that.
Men are having less sex. Women are having sex at the same numbers they've always had sex.
And then
women are still say again?
Then who are they having sex with?
The top 20% of guys and older men.
Interesting.
Right? And these are real stats. Professor Scott Galloway talks about this all the time. And so does the Red Pill. Level Up Man's in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you. My bad, bro. You guys already know I'm going to show every chat, but I can't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to read all of them because we have a beautiful woman with us and y'all want to come in here and everybody want to show up and chat when we got somebody, you know, we got a cutie sitting up on the screen. But if it's just Uncle Saint, ain't nobody really trying to say nothing. I see y'all. See how y'all going to treat me. But it's cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
That comment, though.
So Level Up Man is saying facts. If she's into you, she'll give you sex with 2 broken feet and a crushed sternum. Wow. And in a walking boot. Oddly specific. Wow. Because he probably knows what he's talking about. This is a Southern gentleman right here. This man right here down from the deep South. So yeah, he's letting us know something. I am a single ones in the building. What's good, sis? Our favorite realtor out of Chicago. I am the single ones in the building. Own a Spot Live, guys. Make sure y'all going over there checking out both our YouTube channels. I am the single one and Own a Spot Live. The economy is starting to shift, guys. I know down here in Florida, there's a lot of inventory. They were talking about, I think it was Dade City or Coral City or Coral something in Florida. They have like over 4,000 units on the market right now. Their supply went up, and it was, you know, it's almost doubled over the past couple of years or something like that. So there's a lot of houses out there for sale. But yeah, brother Grios is in the building too. I see you, bro. What's good, fam? Yeah, hypergamy does not care. You're right about that. So discipline and all that. Men, the vast majority of men just aren't getting sexual access like that. And then even there are guys out there who get married, and we already talked about them in sexless marriages and stuff like that, which kind of, you know, not encourages them, but kind of pushes them towards trying to, you know, solve for that problem, which would probably maybe paying for it or having a girl on the side or whatever. All this ties back to technology, you know, because you just, you know, women already, when it comes to the sexual marketplace, have it easier than men. And then you got a device you can pull out your phone out of your pocket. And
Mm.
not only do you have American men hitting you up, but you got Canadian men, Mexican men, Spanish men, you know what I mean? You know, Irish men. And it's just like, damn, it's
Yeah.
really hard to settle in. So I think the discipline, if men could be more, if the top 20 guys could be more disciplined sexually, I would say then the women will have to be more disciplined when it comes to commitment and coming off that phone, coming off of social media or whatever for attention. Is
Mm.
that a fair thing to say?
Um, yeah, I guess so. I was gonna say, like back before phones were a thing, like what would you say, or would you know, like what the percentage of like people in marriages that were still like cheating, just like without technology, just like with,
To compare the two,
yeah.
that's a good question. I have to go out there and see if we can find some numbers on that, and I'll definitely get back to you. But I would say, of course, the numbers are going to be different simply because of access. Um, Once upon a time, even like when I came up, you're back in the 80s or whatever, you didn't have the ability to get outside of your bubble that much, right? So who did you wind up dating? You were dating the people in your city, probably in your school, right? Then you went to college where, you know, let's say I'm from Cincinnati. So, okay, I'm going to go to Ohio State, or I'm going to go, you know what I mean, to Notre Dame, or I'm going to go to UPenn or something like that. But you always came back home.
Mm.
After college, you probably came back home and started your career. And
Mm.
then you would marry the best that you could find around
Mm.
you.
Yeah.
So, you know, women have always had their choice, but they knew it was limited. So the tens will wind up getting who they want, then the nines and the eights, and so on down. So when you got to the regular people, like the average folks, like the fives, they were locked in because there
Yeah.
were no more choices. It's like I gotta lock in unless I want to be alone, or I'm gonna move away to another area and try my luck there.
Yeah.
But now with the technology, you ain't gotta go nowhere.
Yeah.
The whole world is right there. So it definitely affects because a person, woman or man, mostly women, it's like, well, I'm going to date Jimmy,
Mm.
and then I go out here to have my fun, go to college, do all this stuff. I come back home, Jimmy's still there, and it's like,
Mm.
okay, I got my career going, Jimmy's still here. None of these top tier dudes that I was messing with called me back. They all smashed me, and none of them trying to commit. But I got
Yeah.
Jimmy. You know, Jimmy's a six, I'm a six. She should have been with Jimmy all along, right?
Uh-huh.
And now she's with Jimmy, and Jimmy's they're happy. They got their kids, and he's working hard, and he's doing the best he can for her. And that's how I used to work back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's how I worked in the 90s. We were kind of, it's like musical chairs, man. The chairs, yeah, you better get your chair now, starting to fill up. You don't want to be stuck standing. So they would lock in.
Uh-huh.
But now, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just definitely gonna say there's definitely probably like less options than you're seeing nowadays, and also more women definitely like settled with certain men versus now. Now I feel like women, like they make their own money, they do their own thing, so they're choosing to like stay single instead of be with a partner.
Yes, and we haven't seen the fallout from that because this is so new. Now we're
Hmm.
gonna have and that's another stat. Uh Childless women. I think it's by 20, damn, what years is it this year? I think 2024, like the amount of childless women. Um, damn, I cannot remember this stat. Brother Pitney, man, I need this stat. Do me a favor, man, because you've typed this one in before. Uh, but they're talking about now there's gonna be this huge wave of childless women
Yeah.
and lonely women, unmarried, childless women who have these great careers. And
Hmm.
there's definitely a stat out there. They're about to put it in the chat for me. I'm just highlighting everybody's chat as we move down, but they're gonna put it in the chat for me. And this is mainstream media talking about it. And this was from before Brother Pitney was saying a third of men 18 to 30 are sexless. That's the one we were talking about earlier. And I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Brother Pitney will probably put the stat in there about the
Think
women. But a third of dudes are going with they ain't getting
you know what
none.
another issue of that is they just
What is
go
it?
on OnlyFans and jerk off, so they don't have to like go find a woman to have sex with.
Well, because they have no choice, right? And it's the easy way. Everyone wants the easy way. I agree with you. I don't think guys should do that. So I don't really think that. I think it's bad for guys who can't get sexual access to pay professionals for said access. I think that's bad.
Mhm.
But I understand why they do it.
Mhm.
But but if and it's kind of funny, but if a guy has no, like if you're whatever, you're a guy out there, you're doing your thing, you know how to holler at women, you going on a trip somewhere, you see something you like, and you want to pay or whatever. Well, no, I don't have a problem with prostitution. I think that sex work should be legal, but I
Uh-huh.
think it's bad for those guys who don't have any experience, and that's the only way they can get it. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. Any I'm gonna have to think on that some more, but I think it should be legal. I don't think people
Uh-huh.
should be told not to do that. And only OF is only that's what OF is. They're just it's you can get those girls to come see you in real life if you got enough
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. No.
But you
But
keeping it 100 though, like they shouldn't be jacking off on OnlyFans. You crazy?
I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I mean, it's just like it's either take the easy route and just don't have sex with someone and jerk off, whatever, or take the harder route, try to actually talk to a woman, get to know a person, throw some game, whatever, and actually like get with someone or work on yourself.
See, or working on yourself. We do have a question in the chat though. Like Zach wants to know how much how much would you need your potential husband to earn if it comes down to money, as most things do.
See, most people ask this question like if I have a specific number. I don't have a specific number. I just know that I want my husband to be able to provide for me. So when I have children, I want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. I guess I can make it difficult for you. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to make it more difficult for you.
Uh-huh.
If you got a choice, right? You got two guys there, and they're equal in every metric except one makes $200,000 a year, the other one makes $95,000 a year, and you live in Tennessee. Which
uh,
one are you going to choose?
obviously the one with more money.
Okay, fair, fair,
Mm-hmm.
fair. But with money is
Equal
oh, go ahead.
board. No, I'm
Yeah,
saying if
everything
every
else was equal.
yeah, yeah, why not?
So why not? Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Like it's if you did the same question with me, like, well, you got two women, everything is equal across the board. One is slightly younger, and the other one's slightly older. I'm gonna go with the young girl.
Yeah. Mm,
Almost 100% of the time, I go with the young girl. If everything else is the same, one is younger, one is older. I'm probably gonna go
yeah.
with the younger one.
Uh-huh.
So is there a situation where, well, how important is money? Like you said, he just has to be able to provide.
Uh-huh.
um there are so many women out there in these YouTube spaces. They're like, no, I need a guy that makes X amount of money, and be, he has to be this, and this. And it's like ridiculous. The guy's like 0.01% of the population,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But how important is money overall? Like you say, you want to be able to survive, but does that mean you want to be able to take vacations? Does that mean you want to be able to go, what I mean, to Bora Bora? Does that mean, oh, we just need enough money to go to Disney every other year? What is it? What I mean, how important is money?
Um, see, I feel like what I said I feel like, and I realized I said I feel like. Um, I want a man that's going to be able to provide when I have children that I don't have to work. And I want to be able to have the choice to work a part-time job if I want to. I don't want to feel like I have to work a job or I don't want us like struggling. And if we can work together to build in some way, if I can help him build more money or a business or whatever, that's what I want. Ideally, I want a man that's going to be putting in the effort to become successful, like putting in the work to like build something versus a man that's just like, oh, this is the salary I make and that's it and it is how it is. Like I want to see a man that's like striving to get better.
So what you just described is referred to as a value add. So you're looking to add value to the man that you want, so you guys can grow together and reach the highest heights. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but I don't want
Um,
also pushing a man to want better either because I've been in that situation. I want the man to want to do better himself and then I can help add to that.
that is a very good thing. And
Uh-huh.
guys, just so you know, we did not talk about this off camera or anything like this. This is her. This is Sister Shelby. I ain't got nothing to do with this. That right there is the key to, I think landing a top tier guy or finding that guy that you believe can be top tier and add value and help him get there. Like you said, not pushing, but support to be there, to follow his lead, to follow his frame and help get there. That a lot of women think, well, I'm just gonna meet this wealthy guy and I'm just gonna I'm gonna give him the best sex he's ever had. Bullshit. He's had the best. He's had the worst. He's had everything in between. Sex is just sex to him. But
Yeah.
women like, but I got the best Foxy Brown. That's why I refer to as, that they use a term in the red pill world. It's called box. I don't like that term. Oh, it got the box. I don't like that. So I'll say Foxy Brown. It's just as bad, but I just like the way it sounds. But women believe, they fool themselves into thinking that I am so special, that my lady parts are better than anybody else's lady parts, to this guy who has been getting lady parts, day in and day out for years. And I tell folks like, nah, that's not going to do it. But if women do what you just said and add value, they got a guy who's doing this stuff, and you see where he needs some help. Like, let me clean his kitchen for him. Let me put away this stuff. Let me redo his calendar because he keeps messing like me. Like, oh man, what's up, Saint? You messing up, man. Oh, I mixed up the days. So if you're dealing with a guy who does that, like, well, I'm gonna make sure I check and double check his calendar so he doesn't forget because he's out here doing this other stuff. That value add will get you into the marriage quicker than anything else. And Brother Penny finally, he put it up there for not finally, but thank you, brother. 45% of women being single and childless by 2030. 2030. 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030. That's 6 years away because they're making so much money and stuff like that. That's a scary stat, especially with all these young, you got all these, single dudes, at least single dudes who are not that sexually experienced.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say a lot of people are holding off on having kids. Well, the whole dating market and like having kids and stuff, it's like with the economy and everything is another thing.
Kids are expensive. I'm a single dad. I'm here to tell you, man, kids cost a lot of money. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So same scenario. You got to choose between two guys. Because brother Zach was saying something about like right here. He's like, so her answer is 250,000 plus. Essentially, I'm all about data. Median in the U.S. is 45,000 a year. Yeah, depending on where. Last time I looked, and I think this was 2022 numbers. The average income per person in the United States was $65,423 a year. And then it says household in the America was like $74,500, $80,000. These are 2022 numbers. And then it depends on where you live. Like the West Coast is obviously going to be more than the South. So you do have that. But here's the same question, right? Two guys, everything's the same. One is making $45,000 a year, but he is ambitious. He has his regular job, but he's always working on his side hustle. Like he's building a business. The other one is making $125,000 a year. He's corporate, and that's it. He's happy being middle management. He's not trying to move up. He's cool. He's cool with that. He's like, I'm on pace for a pension. Everything is everything. Which guy would you want to be with?
I feel like character's the most important. Ambition, a man that's like hustling. I'd rather a dude be working like 3 jobs and not have a lot of money than one dude that has like a decent paying job that's just like sitting where he's at and he's just like, yeah, I'm good.
I ain't mad at you. I mean, that's cool. Now, most women don't think that way. I would argue that probably most people, they're gonna, let's like you said, let's all things being equal, let's just go with the money. Even the guy I think a woman would marry that guy who has the corporate job and he's not trying to get up the ladder, but she would marry him and then push him and nag him up the ladder. You need to make more money.
Long run, I feel like the guy that's like hustling is going to be better in the long run than the guy that's not hustling.
Either way, that's how you look at it. That's cool. And you're basing that on the fact that, because I assume that you're out there as a small business owner, right? Because doing your thing, personal training and building your own stuff up, you have to build your own brand and all that. Is that why you have that take on it?
Sorry, I was reading and trying to listen at the same time.
Don't worry about the chat, girl. They be wild. But do you have this mindset because you yourself are probably an entrepreneur? Okay.
I'm that type of mindset. So it's like if someone doesn't have that same mindset as me, I just like I don't get it. Like it doesn't compute.
Like, it doesn't compute. So, and that's another thing too that we talk about a lot. Just talked about a lot in the red pill world. So women want this top tier guy. Like, ideally, this woman wants to go get this guy who's making $400,000, $500,000 a year. He's in shape. He's charming. You know what I mean? He smells good. He has all the toys. And she wants that guy to be completely monogamous to her.
Mhm.
Um, do you think that that's realistic?
Um, I don't know. I guess it depends on the guy. Like, I feel like you gotta look at the characteristics of a guy. If he doesn't want that, then no, it's not realistic to expect that.
Well, let's say he has all that. Like, okay, so we got a woman out here. She's cute. You know what I mean? She's like an 8, 9 on a good day. And then she finds this guy who's making $500,000 a year. He's tall, dark, and handsome. He's well spoken. He's not a weirdo. He's well respected. Has all kinds of clout. She got him.
Uh-huh.
They're in a relationship.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that it's reasonable for her to expect him to be completely monogamous to her?
I think it's reasonable for her to want that. Yeah.
But to want it, but is it reasonable for her to expect it?
Mm, yes.
No. No, I'm gonna have to get one of those buttons that has that ant or whatever sound effect. I mean, it's I guess another way I can ask it, well, if you got a guy who has that kind of money and all the women want him, I'm talking about all the beautiful, like look at someone like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods plays around the golf. He gets off the golf course and there's a bus full of, Swedish swimsuit models waiting there to smash this dude, right? Shout out to Bill Burr. Bill Burr talks about this in the past, right? Tiger's supposed to say no to that.
Does the girl get to do whatever she wants to as well?
She can, but he'll probably leave her.
I don't know. I don't find this fair.
Because and the reason it comes up a lot is it's like, okay, women want this guy, this unicorn of a man, knowing that men want sex. Now he's gonna marry her. He'll put a ring on her finger. He's like, look, you got my last name. You're gonna have half of everything I earn, everything I have in the future. We're gonna have kids, right? It's just every now and then, if I'm somewhere and I might smash something every now and then. And in this scenario, he's not going to bring home any diseases. He's not going to bring home any babies or anything like that. He's just like, I really like variety. So that's the deal.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I try to think of like how I would answer this if I was in this situation. If I was like with a really wealthy dude and like I was all set for the rest of my life but we had this like contract that he could do whatever he wanted, would I accept that? I really don't know. Because I've never been in that scenario. So I'm like, I don't know if I would accept that or not.
Now, the way I look at it, if we're talking about a scenario where a woman comes up to meet, she meets this guy. And when she met this guy, he had all this. He was the 0.001%. He was the guy. Mm-hmm. In that scenario, if she wants to be with him, he dictates the terms. You want to be with me? I'm only going to marry one woman. You can be her, but this is what I'm going to do. Right? Mm-hmm. Here's the prenup. If this doesn't work, this is how much you're getting. Like all that stuff is all spelled out. You want to be with me? I'm going to do this. In those situations, I'm like, yeah, baby, that's who you want. You're going to have to either sign that contract or walk away from him. If you want that man, you got to take him on his terms. Now, same scenario, but she was right there with him, helping him build the business. She was right there adding value day one when he wasn't making money like that. She was there handling all the stuff or whatever. Then he gets to that point and he's like, oh, I want to smash other girls. I'm like, oh no, bro, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
You're going to have a problem. Like, oh no, bro.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, because that has to be established up front. Like I said, I was broke, and I'm telling people I'm running rotations, and women are agreeing to get into the rotation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You were broke, bro. You got her, but it was just you and her against the world. You
Yeah.
know, if you were playing basketball, she the one, feeding you the rebound so you can keep working on your shot, or she's
Yeah.
throwing baseball so you can work on your swing. And now
Mhm.
you making millions. And y'all didn't, if y'all hadn't established that you can mess around before,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a hard sell to try to get that now. And I would say that that woman does deserve half your shit because she
Yeah.
was right there helping you build it.
Yeah. I'd be pissed. Mm,
I look at that. So I think this is why I always tell guys be honest up front from the very beginning.
yeah.
So I think it's delusional for women to think that they're gonna go into a situation with a guy who's already self-made and have all this stuff, and she's just gonna have him all to herself. Hell no. He gonna do what he wants to do. That means he's gonna smash other girls. He's gonna smash other girls, whether he tells you or not. I think he should tell her. But whatever he wants to do, he gets to dictate that. But a
Mhm.
lot of women, they balk at that. They know he needs to be monogamous and faithful to me. And I'm like, why?
Uh-huh.
Why? So I wanted to catch up. I think last good man in Jersey's in the building. What's good, fam? Level up man was saying, he's like, I hate to break it to you, man, but ladies are all having sex with the same dudes. Lots of Eskimo sisters out there. Yeah. Absolutely. Lots of Eskimo sisters out there. Girl, I'm talking to you. Got the sun going down. You okay?
I gotta change the lights, but I don't want to turn on the overhead lighting because it's not good lighting.
Okay. Well, I'll talk fast and then we'll wrap this up. And level up man is saying women don't settle. They end up coming back down to their own level and are mad that they didn't land a 10. Ooh, what do you think about that?
I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs being yelled out.
Word.
yeah.
I ain't mad. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But I
A
get
lot
what
of
I get. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
A lot of men will just be like yelling at women like, "You're never gonna find anybody," blah blah blah. It's like I'm not gonna take on your belief that like there's no one out there, you're not gonna find anyone or whatever.
Hmm. I think that women, women can get a guy
Mhm.
snap of a finger.
Mhm.
Hell, she ain't even got to be attractive. I can't
Mhm.
tell you how many unattractive women, big women out here, bad attitude, ugly inside and out. They got dudes.
Mhm.
Right? It's just so easy for women to get guys. And
Yeah.
it's so difficult for men to get, like, the average guy to get guy. Like the average woman, the
Mhm.
average woman get hit up by celebrities and like have back and forth, like, like, yeah, the Rock, like one of your pictures. That's great. That could have been like one of his, the Rock might have someone running his account for him. That may not have been him.
Don't take that away from me, okay?
My bad, girl. I'm pretty sure it was Dwayne Johnson. I'm pretty sure. But what I mean, there are people out there who have others that work their social media,
Uh-huh.
but there are women out there who meet. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Like, there are women out there who meet or get to not meet, but interact with
Mhm.
celebrities.
Mhm.
I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, people talk about Drake all the time. Like, Drake's always sliding into some random girl's DM
Mhm.
and fly her out somewhere and do whatever, and then off he goes to the next one.
Mhm.
Like, that's there's no. I have never met a guy that's like, yeah, Rihanna slid into my DMs, right, or whoever, and she flew me out to Dubai,
Yeah.
and we did the nasty, and she flew me back. I'm sure there's a dude out there that might have a story like that, but I ain't met him.
Uh-huh. yeah, it's just a different. I feel like that's just how it is. Usually the guys, I don't know, the guys usually has to be the pursuer of the woman or the
And
chooser.
that's true. Yeah, and level up, man. That's a good point. And I do agree with him. Like, top tier dudes come with top tier costs. Yeah, sorry, ladies, but you can't have it all. And I think that's what it really boils down to. Women want it all as if the fairy tale is real. You can't have it all. You know what I mean? You just can't have it all. Brother 90s is in the building as well, man. I missed you, man. What's good, fam? My bad. My bad. I thought I missed somebody. I try to show love to everybody. I know last good man in Jersey. Yeah. Let me do it again just in case I forgot. Last good man in Jersey. He travels a lot, so I'm pretty sure you've heard of the passport bro phenomenon.
Yeah.
So, last good man in Jersey, good guy, older dude out of the Northeast. He goes to the Philippines, and he really loves going to the Philippines. And like, guys are getting their passports, and it made sense to me because some guys were not having success finding exactly what they wanted in a woman, which was really just feminine, you know what I mean? The kind of woman, like you said, is going to add value and be there and, allow, follow my lead and all that. So they've begun to travel.
Mhm.
And then you have other guys, passport bros who travel and just bottom of the bottom dudes, deadbeats, save up a little bit of money and go someplace like the DR Colombia. And they go travel and they done messed it up. Like Colombia right now, they're having riots about, sex tourism and stuff like that now. So these passport bros been on the scene for barely 2 years. And now you got countries revolting, and
Mhm.
trying to kick the gringos out.
Mhm.
Um, why? I mean, are women talking about that at all? Like the passport bro thing, or men not approaching or anything like that? Have you heard anyone or experienced any this kind of thing yourself?
Oh, sorry, you're gonna have to explain. Like, what do you mean, men not approaching? Or
So there are a lot of men today in America that will see a woman, like someone, let's say some guys are out or guys out and he sees you, maybe you and your friends, and you guys are kind of chilling or whatever. He thinks you're attractive. He won't approach.
yeah,
Even if you're like kind of batting your eyes and flirting a little bit, like, he won't approach.
yeah, that's a problem.
Have you experienced that?
Yes, that's a constant problem. That it's like, as a woman, I don't want to be the one like making the move, and I feel like men don't really like do that as much anymore. And it's like if you're not approaching, who's gonna do it? Like,
So why do you think they're not approaching?
because they're afraid of rejection or something.
Well, I mean, we've always been getting rejected. Now that's part of being a dude, right?
Mm.
I mean, that's part of it, but we're always getting rejected.
Yeah, or of like, I don't know. Well, I'd say rejection, like a woman, like, I don't know, coming off poorly to them. I don't know.
All right, so I'm glad we landed on this because I know we were talking about maybe showing a different video, but I got one I want us to show. Um, right, yeah, we're gonna go with this. Let me pull this up. Uh, one of these days I'm gonna have a producer. One of these days we're gonna start making money. I'm gonna have a producer because I'm trying to do more than one thing at once here. Um, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna watch this video, girl. And this is about men not approaching.
Ain't
Um,
no way.
I don't know what that slurping noise was all about, but let's check this out. Let's see what they're talking about here.
I mean, these two niggas was standing. They was brothers. They was brothers. They was standing next to each other, high fiving each other, like, oh shit. I was just right there, like.
Ain't no way.
Wow.
Ain't no fucking way.
Prom? Ew. It's where the most beautiful girls get asked by the worst dudes to prom, and they're like, yeah, because they finally found someone that likes them. Why is every pretty girl with a horrible looking man? I don't understand. Listen, I'm not shaming people for their looks, but I am, though. You give an ugly guy a chance, he thinks he rules the world. I swear to God. Because they got a hot girl, they can be horrible. Like, you're still ugly, though. Can't change that. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's like why like guys with small dicks get like huge mansions to make up for it, you know? Or like really nice cars.
Damn, she going in. Isn't she like a recording artist or something?
Yeah, started.
She's
Those,
going in. So I'm sorry, say again.
I said that there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, okay, because the whole, you know, ugly guy gets a pretty girlfriend and he has an attitude. Have you seen that?
I've seen, yeah, I mean, I see like the there'll be like a really pretty woman with a like not attractive guy and he'll treat her like shit. I've seen that. And then I've seen like you give the less attractive man a chance and he still turns out to be shitty. So it's like, why did I even give this unattractive man a chance? It's like you got played by the ugly dude.
Wow, because the ugly dude is gamed up. Because if an ugly guy has a beautiful woman on his arm, other women are gonna come holler at the ugly dude. like kind of like a pre-selection kind of thing. Like, what's up with him? Man, he can pull her. And especially if that pretty woman is like all over the ugly dude, that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to get in, to be honest with you. I mean, I would tell dudes like, hey, you have any attractive female friends? Like, well, I got this one girl, she's real hot. Go to that event with your friend. Ask her to kind of just hold on to your arm and whisper in your ear all the time. And she's gonna be like, I don't want to do that. Ew. Like, no, look, girl, you're gonna get free dinner out of it. I'm gonna buy drinks, but you're gonna help me get these girls. I'm trying to run a game.
Yeah.
And sure enough, and he's gonna get in the club right away because he's got a dime with him. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, be around beautiful women come.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I had a question actually.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, have you heard of the what is it called? The 4B movement?
No.
Or yeah. Oh.
Now you gotta tell me what is that?
It's this thing, I forget what country it's happening in, but it's women are literally like refusing to either have sex or settle down with men. Like they're just like opting out of it completely. It's like a whole movement going on. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That is crazy because how is that? All right, the top 20% guys will just import their women. Right, in that scenario, like the top 20% guys, okay, y'all ain't doing nothing in this, fine, we'll fly them in. In the bottom 80, they're not getting attention anyway, so it doesn't affect them at all. It only hurts the women. Yeah. South Korea, Brother Pitney is saying that's South Korea.
Oh, South Korea.
Right, the 4B movement. For how long? Okay, South Korea. Sister Rosa saying the same thing. We have to look into that, girl. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah,
because it doesn't make sense to me. Why? I mean, the top tier guys aren't affected. They can fly in quality, and the bottom 80 dudes, they're not getting on anyway.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to be getting anything at all.
Well, the bottom tier dudes can get their passports out. It's like Korea. I spent time in Korea. When I was in the Army, I was stationed in Korea for a while, and I went back. I think it was not 2016, but maybe 2014. We went back. We went to Korea, Japan, and China, and Korea's always been the East is different, and I mean for them to say we're not gonna sleep with anybody 4B movement, I think that's cap. I think it's a little cap there.
I don't know.
I think those women are gonna still go out and get the top tier dudes. They're just not gonna tell. They're gonna do it like quiet. You know what I mean?
Like, don't tell anyone.
Like, don't tell anybody. So let's see if we can get to some good stuff on this. 90% of men don't approach women anymore. I think all the negative stuff we're watching now is just to set up, something. So let's check this out.
Shut up, bitch.
That was your guy.
And you never knew how much I really liked you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And I'm not going if I'm not having a suite at the Satai. I want the $2,500 room, the best room that they have.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Say goodbye to these little itty bitty titties, bitches. Because 24 hours from now, I'm gonna have a rack.
Everybody's saying they need peace, they need love, they need happiness. Bitch, I need 30 bands right fucking now.
This is my Halloween costume, guys. All of it, even the props. What do you think I am?
Nasty bitch.
No girl has all five. Prove me wrong. 1, more than $50 in their bank account. 2, a significant other that they've been in a stable relationship with. 3, the ability to parallel park. 4, a stable relationship with both of their parents. And 5,
all I gotta say is, get you a nerd. Get you an anime geek. Get you a something like that. Because while y'all mans is out hoeing, mine's in the other room playing Dungeons and Dragons. You know where he at.
If I can look like this 24/7 and have guys send me money, you can't choose this.
All right. So I was hoping it would get more into, hey, these guys aren't approaching me, because there's a video out there of a woman who told this whole story about how this guy you know, her and her friends were trying to get these dudes to approach, and they just wouldn't approach. No matter what they did, the guys wouldn't come over. This right here, this is kind of blah. This is kind of blah. I don't, you know, that you would watch this stuff, and it's, you know, like all women are like that. Like all women aren't like these women we just saw.
The internet like shows like the worst of the worst and puts it all together, and then you're like, you think that's like the majority of everyone.
And it's nowhere, it's not. You know what I mean? It's not at all. Yeah, it was a video I watched not that long ago. And, you know, it was like, you know, he's saying 90% of men don't approach. And it's not because they're afraid of rejection. Is, you know, you could get in trouble. Like you could lose your job. Like if you approach a woman at work, you could lose your job. Yeah, love, you might want to turn the lights on now. Now I got you sitting in the dark and I feel bad.
Hold on, like give me a moment because I have to find a plug.
All right, I'll drop you down. I'll drop you down for a second.
Okay.
So Shelby's gonna work on her lighting system. I don't want to sit here and put her in the dark, make me feel bad. Like, at least we know she's on the East Coast like the rest of us. I didn't know about this 4B movement thing, man. Brother Penny is saying the word no in Korean starts with B. So the 4B movement means no dating men, no sex with men, no marriage, no with men, no children with men. Wow. Because I thought no in Korean was ani yo, like no. But I could be wrong. I have to go check my stuff. You know what I mean? To be fair, 30 bands will go far in Estonia, boy. 30 bands will go far here in America. For, you know what I mean? Brother Rook's in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. We're sitting here talking to Sister Shelby, trying to get a perspective of dating out there on the other side. Yeah, I see. We were talking, you know, she was saying that she has noticed the guys are not approaching. And again, you can lose your job if you're approached the wrong way. If you approach the wrong woman, she goes to HR or something like that. In some countries, if you approach a woman, she can go to law enforcement or go to management and stuff like that. You can get kicked out or have paperwork done on you or something like that, which is crazy. There's a lot to risk. There's a lot to risk. So, you know, people, especially women, they don't realize how tough it is to approach men. And then women turn around and they say, well, we want men to approach us and all that good stuff. It's like, well, when they say that, they want certain types of men to approach. It's not that they want, you know, I think Michael Sertan talked about that. Give me a thumbs up, love, when you're ready, and I'll pull you back up. Cool. Yeah, look at you. Bam, right back with the, you know, that lighting looks pretty good. I ain't mad at you. You know, shoot, you move faster than Hollywood. So a lot of women will say that, you know, we want men to approach, but what they're really saying is they want the men that they're attracted to approach. Would you agree with that or no?
See, I was just thinking about that. I was like, I think approaching versus harassing or going overboard is like, there's a difference. Like, I feel like you can approach and like see where things are at, but if a guy that's like constantly approaching or going after when you don't want him to, that's like where it's like crossing the line. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. So, and I found a video. So this would definitely be a better video to watch. This is Michael Sertain. So Access Vegas, I think his name was one of his podcasts, Men of Action. He's part of the Red Pill. He's one of the big voices in the Red Pill. This would be actually a pretty decent one to watch. Brother John is like, sure, the video of Austin Holman getting rejected for just asking to say hi. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, bro. Austin Coleman is like the poster boy of Passport Bros. Dude out of Texas. I haven't seen that, bro. I'm about to find that. But we're gonna watch this video here. Let me pull this up real quick. I think it's already up. Nope. Let me pull it up real quick. So sorry. I'm gonna have to get me a producer, girl. That is what it is. We're gonna have to start getting our views up. So let's check this out and let me know what you think. He's talking to Aaron Clary, who's a guy he wrote a couple books. He's also in the Red Pill world ish. Let's check this out.
Very clear to young men today just how little interest women have in the average man.
Yes.
And now you are seeing men shutting down. There's also the psychological, ideological, almost religious aspect that has unfortunately become unto its own self among women, I'd say, where their value is how they don't need men, like their independence from men.
That's a brag.
It's a brag.
They're bragging about to the extent to which they don't need men.
Right. But I also think it's starting to become an increasing percentage of women's core value. Like, no, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man.
Yes.
And so you're starting to see a spiritual adherence to being not married as well.
Got it.
And then if they want kids, they can in vitro surrogate, whatever else, stuff like that. But you're starting to see it go beyond mere consumption and economics to know spiritual purpose in me. And we're like, I'm a vegetarian. You know, how do you tell who the libertarian, the vegetarian, or the pilot in the room is?
They'll let you know.
They'll let you know.
They'll tell you all
Exactly. So
about it.
it's, yeah. So I think it has also become reality in the economy. People are now capitalizing off of it. That now there's a financial incentive. Now, how it, interestingly enough, with men, all economies in the past, all this thing, the electricity, you know who invented that? Men did.
Yeah.
Right. You know why he invented it?
Because they were trying to impress
We
women.
wanted to get laid. That's it. There's all of economics right there for you.
Please understand, I enjoy the fact that I compete with other men for women. Sometimes it sucked. I'll tell you, in junior high, it sucked. In college, it sucked losing to other men for women. But the fact that I did so, that got me into the gym at the end, I got in better shape in the gym. I do understand that some of my motivation, if you were to look at it, like what is a ubiquitous motivation for Homo sapien men, it is higher sexual selection and higher status.
And so this is hardwired.
Yes.
Not debatable. Not an opinion, not social conditioning. And so men, at least of the human species, we have been geared and we're like, okay, I'm going to work, gather resources, attract a woman, have kids, maybe attract some other women along the way. But and I've said it in 2 of my books now, men are the economic engines of growth. Women are the fuel. Female youth and beauty is the fuel they run on.
Right.
Not women, female youth and beauty, because of we want productive value. We want reproductive capability. What has happened, again, I don't think consciously, but now very consciously, they said, all right, well, women can now go pursue careers and do whatever else. And it's fine. I'm a libertarian, make your choices. But they did abandon men as the primary thing. It was family, was men, find a man, fall in love, that kind of thing. That has now been abandoned. And for a while, society could rely on the male sex drive to like, well, okay, I mean, just common sense too. Like back in the day, well, yeah, why shouldn't women be able to do that? Well, yeah, I don't want to prevent her. You know, there was some philosophy there too, but they kind of relied on the male sex drive. Well, we'll keep doing this. Then things start to fall apart about the 70s.
You're saying as things got more egalitarian, they were like, well, the male sex drive will still continue to motivate men to be productive, even though they're not receiving the same deal.
Right. And they weren't wrong.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you an idea of how technical and how far down a rabbit hole guys are going so they can solve this problem of sexual intimacy, right? They're not getting the sexual intimacy and they want to know why. Women don't need men because society has made it to where they really don't. You know, you can pick up a phone call for help. You know what I mean? You can make your own money. There are all sorts of incentives out there, but women still want to get a partner, right? They, you know, women always say they want a partner. They want a guy and they want the best guy. So as these women are making more money, as these women are more successful, moving up the ladder, the guys that they want become fewer and fewer and fewer. So the vast majority of dudes is like, why would I approach that woman over there? She's looking good. She has money. I mean, even though she's like, I hope he comes over here. Like, I don't want to deal with that. She might start yelling. She might spray me in the face with some mace. She might call the police. But like you said, there is a fine line between approaching a woman and saying, hello, how you doing? And, just being annoying and, accosting a woman or something like that. You know what I mean? So do you think there's a fix for this?
We were saying that men don't want to approach women because they're like, why should I approach her when she could get X, Y, Z, like all these other men? Right? I feel like that's like a self-worth thing. Like they're afraid of rejection, you know? If you know you're the best of the best, why would you be afraid to approach a woman, you know?
That's true. And as an older dude, I find myself not approaching women because I just don't want to deal with it. You know, sometimes it's like, I don't want to deal with it. You know, like it could go bad. So I wait for women to place themselves in my orbit. And this is something I tell guys that listen to me. I'm like, yo, wait for her to place herself in your orbit. And what do I mean by that? So if I'm at the bar and I'm talking to the bartender or whatever, and I'm drinking, and some woman has been making, eye contact and looking and smiling, and I don't go over to her, eventually she'll come to the bar to order a drink. And when she comes to the bar, she's going to get as close to me as she dares. So she's not going to be at the other end of the bar. She's going to come down and place herself right next to me. Right now, once I see that, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to make her say hi. I'll ask her to pass me a napkin, or I'll make a comment about her shoes or her purse or her nails or something like that. That's all she needs. Now, as soon as I say that, you know, I'm like, hey, is that a Van Cleef bracelet? I've heard about those Van Cleef things. Oh, yeah, it is. And it's blah, 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 blah. Now she's talking, right? We're in. No, we're in. If she comes over and she does that, and I say, hey, is that a Van Cleef bracelet? And she just kind of looks at me and then looks the other way, playing hard to get. Fine. That's it. I'm not saying shit else.
Yeah. I
Whereas,
feel like,
oh, go ahead.
No, I feel like that's how it should be.
It's how it should be. So that's not technical, because you're like, I don't want to have to approach, but you will place yourself in a guy's orbit if you think he's cute. Like, well, I think he's looking at me. Let me get a little closer.
I'm terrible at that. I'm like, I see attractive man, I like run the other direction.
You really want to get chased, huh? You that one. Like, you got to chase her. Y'all got to chase Sister Shelby, y'all. Y'all see her out there. Get ready. Get your running shoes on.
I'm sorry. It's bad.
It's bad, huh? Is that because of some bad experiences, or you just always been that way?
I think maybe like experiences of a child growing up type of thing, like dealing with rejection. So that probably like affected how I go about dating as an adult. But
All right. So we've said all these things. We've made all these comments about how we think this is bad and this and that. We should leave this show with some comments of how we think we can make it better. So with the approaching women thing, how do we think we could make it better? Should men be encouraged to just, just kind of make sure you work on your social skills and don't be afraid, just go over and make the approach? Should men continue to make the approach, or should women be more willing, unlike you, to at least put themselves in the orbit as opposed to running away?
I think it could go both. Like, I think men could approach just maybe in a softer way, give a compliment, walk away. Like, you don't have to like talk her ear off or like ask her on a date right away, but just like approach to start like a conversation or get to know someone or whatever. And then I admit I probably do have to work on the like putting myself in the orbit thing. So I admit I could work on that too. So
yeah, let me help him help you, girl. Uncle Luke 1980s, what's good, bro? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. $5 super chat, man. It's gotten so bad that men in Western countries, that men are leaving, or I'm reading this wrong. It's gotten so bad that men in Western countries, that men are having relationships with women overseas in more traditional countries. Not a bad idea. Yeah, bro. Oh, it's all good, bro. No worries for the typo, man. I'm gonna blame it on me. It's my Cincinnati public school education. It's not your typo, it's me. So no, I mean it has gotten to a point where I think that women are expecting way too much from guys. And if how many women do you know, or just kind of like not your best friends or whatever, your close friends, but just associates, just other women going around with this "I don't need a man, man ain't shit" narrative? Is it prevalent?
Not like in my personal circle, but like that I see on the internet. Yeah, I definitely see that a lot.
And you see, that's the problem. That's a real problem, because women are just kind of feeding themselves this negative narrative. That these men ain't nothing. I don't need them. And then it's like, okay, well, now dudes aren't messing with you. Well, because the bottom 80 guys were the guys who were making most of the approaches. The bottom 80 guys were the guys who were giving most of the attention. So now they move over, like you said, they move over to OF and they're just sending straight cash to see a girl's, booty hole, which is insane.
Like I was saying that men are going to other countries for more traditional women. I think that's the issue is us women, we want the traditional. And then he's saying he's going to other countries to find traditional women. It's like, if you go to another country, they want the men that are the providers, but yet the men in the US don't want to be the providers. So it's like, if you're trying to go to another country to find better women, you're going to have to provide more in these other countries, or they expect more in these other countries versus the US. More women are okay with going like 50-50.
I don't agree with that. I think that, if you go to places, like Thailand, the Philippines, if you go to, Vietnam, Cambodia, Peru, Brazil, Colombia, like the second and third world countries, I don't think that's the case. And even if it were, the dollar is so strong that you're literally spending less money to provide. So you don't need that 50%. You know what I mean? Like it's your currency is way stronger than their currency. But I think it boils down to being raised a certain way. Those countries I mentioned and a lot of other countries, they're raised to be women. They're raised to cook, to clean. When they date, almost every woman I've dealt with in Latin America, everyone that dated me wanted to marry me. Like that was they were trying to get married, have kids. That was
Yeah.
the goal.
Do they want like the man to be the provider, or they expect?
Yes. They want the man to be provider, but they will still work. Like they still had, they didn't mind. And I had a couple serious relationships. They were like, hey, they college educated, doing their thing, have their careers. Say, hey, we do this. If we go the distance, and I have a baby, I'm going to want to stay home. So it was a conversation. She's letting like, I want to stay home. Whereas a lot of Western women have the baby and they want to go to work as soon as possible. A lot of that's because you have to, because it's so expensive here to raise a child. And a lot of women think it's a bad thing to be a single mom. Not correction, to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that? Or, I mean, because I think that social media has a lot to do with that as well.
Yeah, I think there's like, it's funny because back in the day it was like more normalized to be a stay-at-home mom, and now I feel like if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, it's like put down like you want to be a stay-at-home mom, like you have no ambition or whatever.
Ooh, they really say that?
I feel like that's like the mindset, like, or like you don't, that you don't have an ambition, or you don't want to like do anything, you just want to sit at home, and I don't know, or like you don't do much or something just because you're a stay-at-home mom.
And the fact is, they're doing everything. Stay at home is, man, that is the hardest thing ever to keep the house clean, to do all that stuff, cook and run after the kids and all that. Huh.
Yeah.
But then again, this is what feeds into that negative narrative, and this is why some men are choosing to leave. A lot of guys are just leaving because again, they're not getting sex. So you can go to the DR and you're gonna find some woman that's gonna be willing to have sex with you. Either you can pay her or you can date her. Like she can either let you know here's the price up front, or you're just taking her out and treating her the way you would treat an American woman, and she just appreciates it and comes home with you at the end of the night. Either way, she knows she's getting money. I think in America, it's gotten so transactional that the people are just jaded completely, and it goes back to these guys. These guys are like, man, why am I going to try to approach her? I have dudes that'll tell me like, man, I met this woman and took her out on these great, this great dinner, and then took her on another great dinner, and then went to the theater and went to ballet, and we went another time we went out, we did this, and I'm like, where? So you guys are dating? So what's up, man? You having fun with her in the bed? Oh no, she won't sleep with me. Like, you still doing all this stuff? And this will go on for 6 months, a year, and then finally he'll come back and he's so bitter. Man, she was playing me, bro. She had another guy she was being with, and she was having sex with him. Every time I would take her out and I'd bring her back home, she wouldn't even, she barely kissed me on the cheek, but then she'll go upstairs and, she was having fun with this one guy, this just Chad or this Tyrone. Like, you didn't know that from the beginning? This is why we have the 3A rule, my friend. Like, don't waste that. And my thing, go ahead.
I said his discernment is off then.
I mean, and it's, the game is the game. And I try to tell people like, yo, this is how the game works. If you're really trying to get sex out of the situation, because even the guy with that scenario right there, like you spend all this time and all this money, all these resources on this woman. I'm like, bro, had you had sex with her at least once, would it have been as bad? He's like, well, if I'd have smashed at least once, it'd have been cool, I guess. So I was like, so if that's the case, man, exercise that 3-day rule and stop taking them out on expensive dates. But they won't see me if I don't go on expensive dates. So that lets you know where you are.
Yeah.
Don't take her out for coffee. How do you feel about coffee dates?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about coffee dates?
Oh, well, I don't drink coffee, so.
Well, for you, it wouldn't be coffee. It would be a smoothie date. If I was to take you out, like, all right, what are we going to meet? Let's meet up and get a smoothie, or let's go get a salad, something like that, a fruit salad. Would that be an ick? Like, oh, you're taking me on a date and you're taking me to get fruit?
I've done it, but I feel like the men that put in more effort, I appreciate that more if I see more effort than that.
More effort. Explain. What does that look like? More effort.
Taking me to like a nicer place or a full dinner versus just a coffee.
But why? Like what? You know what I mean? Like why would a dude?
But you
already he's investing more.
Yeah.
So what's the female investment?
My time to spend with you.
But his time plus
time is more valuable than a man's time.
Is that right? Yeah,
because we have an age. We got time. We only got a certain amount of time to be having kids out here.
Okay, because this is why game is so important. Because my thing is, I'm not going to invest like that unless I know that the woman that I'm seeing is investing in me. So now you got the players and the top tier guys. This is why they get such a bad rap, because they're going to get what they're after, which is in most cases the sexual access. They want the intimacy. They're going to run their game. They're going to break contact once they realize, okay, this woman ain't trying to do that, so I'm moving on. And they're going to find those women who are willing to, you know what I mean, like give them what they want. And then you have women out there trying to get resources, you know, in exchange for their time. They're trying to get experiences, and then they're going after guys. And that guy will say, okay, I'm going to, you know, like Shelby's very pretty. I know I'm competing with these other guys, so I can't just take her to dinner. I got to take her to a helicopter dinner. Or I got to, you know what I mean? I can't just I can't just take it to the movie. I got to take it to the premiere, or I got to take her to see this ballet or whatever. Or I got to go take her to see The Rock. You know what I mean? Like The Rock is here. I got to take it.
Married at that point.
but it's like, so I tell guys all the time, like, man, just don't do that. You know, just run the numbers. And it might take you 100 women before you get to the one that's real in the rock. You want to have some fun. Because I've been with women who are like, cool, we can rock it out and we're going to have fun. So she went out on an ice cream date. She went to the park. And like, man, she's cool. She ain't tripping. So yeah, and we smashing. And she, you know what I mean? She's like, she's feeling me sexually. We're having fun. She's, you know, she's making breakfast. You know, she's checking in. She's calling, making sure I'm good, adding value where she can. Now I'm going to take her out. Okay, now we're going to Mr. Childs. Now we're going to STK. You know, now we're going to go and we're going to get on a plane and we're going to go to the Maldives. Right. But not right off the bat. And I think right there that's where the problem lies right there. Brother Cody is King is in the building, guys. Oops, wrong button. Cody is King is in the building. What's good, fam? So I think we got to the crust of it right there. I think that's the problem. I think that male and female time is equal. I hear what you're saying though, that women only has, you know, so much time to make a baby, but they're out here giving all that time to the corporations and they're freezing their eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you say that you're like just putting in like minimal effort, and then once you realize her value, then you're putting in more into it. I feel like that's just like you seeing the value in someone. If you see a lot of value in me, then you're gonna put more in versus if you don't see value, and then you're just gonna do like the cheap date or whatever. You know,
but but I mean, it's not even a cheap date. It's well thought out. Like, oh, we're doing some cool stuff. You're a fit person. We're out, you know, doing fit person stuff. But you're thinking because the guy isn't willing to invest in a nice meal and maybe going to a lounge and buying drinks. Because that guy with the Santa Claus hat in the video we were just watching, he wrote a book called, he wrote a couple books, Bachelor Pad Economics, but another one's called The Book of Numbers. In the Book of Numbers, he goes into how much the average guy spends on pursuing women in America. And the number is ridiculous, 6 figures plus in a lifetime. In a lifetime. We're gonna need at least 10,000 to take you out, girl. You already said it. Like, you're gonna have to. I'm trying to.
I said I appreciate, like I notice it, I guess. I'm like, oh wow, this guy really like went out for me or something. Like I just notice it. But I have gone on like not as expensive dates. I feel like it's more of like the effort that he puts into it. Like I've even got like if I mention or he just like puts a lot of effort into making a really nice picnic date, but he like made everything, all the food that was on the picnic date. Like that's just as valuable versus like I feel like if it's a coffee date, it's not really much effort put into it.
Right. And I've done that. I've told people like, I've done picnics and I'll make everything. And sometimes I'll buy some cool stuff. Like it'll be a nice picnic. I'll put time into it. I agree with you there. But I like the coffee. I like the fruit date, the ice cream date. And of course, well, okay, we're gonna sit down and see what's up. All right, cool. She's here. Like Brother Cody said, like anytime she says no to a coffee date, she's not worth it. And it's just one of those things that were okay, she's on a different time. So I'm like, all right, if she's willing to spend time with me over coffee or ice cream or whatever, that means she really wants to get to know me. She's down for the conversation. So I'll do that. And I'm like, all right, this is cool. Then I'll suggest that we go somewhere else. I have it all planned out in my mind. So we're gonna go over here. Like we had ice cream or a coffee or whatever, smoothies, whatever. It's like, and I'm like, hey, like, do you dance? It's like, what do you mean? Like salsa, merengue, anything like that? Like, oh, kind of, or no, I've never done it. Hey, I know this outdoor spot. Let's walk over here. They're playing outside. We get to go dance. They kind of teach her everything now. Now we're having fun. You're like, oh, this guy's cool. That doesn't cost anything. That's free. You know what I mean? So the guy's like, we're enjoying each other's time. There's touch involved. You're like, man, that was amazing. Thank you. Like, cool. Now I want to get to know you. Now let's do something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily, because you got dinner, you can't really get to know that person. She's got so much makeup on. I'm not a big fan of makeup. Like, oh, you don't need that much makeup. I met you with no makeup on. You don't need to put makeup on now that we're going out. So you got all that stuff to figure out who she is. You don't have to spend, I don't think you have to spend money in exchange for her time.
Experience. I think I just don't like coffee dates because I don't like coffee.
Right. And for you, it wouldn't be coffee. Like, oh, let's get some smoothies or ice cream or something like that.
Yeah, ice cream. Like that's cheap. I like ice cream. Love it.
There you go. Got to do some push-ups or something afterwards. But I don't know, girl. Like I said, like for a future date, like I personally think it's gonna get a little worse before it gets better. If it gets better, what do you think?
Yeah, I think people are starting to date less. Honestly, I know a lot of people are deleting dating apps and just like focusing on themselves, and so I feel like dating might become like less. Like there'll be less people dating, and then hopefully both men and women can get to a healthier spot, and hopefully it'll get better.
It'll get better. And like you said, you're single, but you are looking, possibly, perhaps.
I'm like not like searching. I'm just like, if it happens, it happens type of thing. Like I'm
so
like
you're open,
but I'm not like hunting anyone down. No.
All right, y'all. So anybody watching this video on Team Replay and you running to Sister Shelby, no coffee, and that first date, y'all gonna have to go to Mastro's or some shit, man. Y'all gonna be over there at I don't know what big restaurants y'all have where you are, like Fig and Olive or something like that. You have to take her to New York. All right, take her to New York. Go to Mr. Chow's.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be a big date.
I'm just joking. Don't do that. You ain't gotta go all the way to New York. Just go to whatever. Last thing I'm gonna ask you, this whole thing about if a guy takes you to Cheesecake Factory, would that make you mad?
No, I like Cheesecake Factory.
Man, because it was a big uproar of women talking about don't take me to Cheesecake Factory, don't take me here, don't take me there. Like we said, it's the bad actors on YouTube. It's like, come on, man took you out.
Yeah, no, I like Cheesecake Factory.
So it is what it is. So that's it. You have any final thoughts on this? And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I really appreciate the conversation. Next time I will be better prepared. But again, I thought we were doing this tomorrow. So I was like, oh shit, let me hurry up and fix this.
No, you're good. I think this was good. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here. So this was good.
My pleasure. And yeah, next time I do one of these days, I'm gonna do some like more of a panel kind of thing. I'll hit you up. Maybe if you're free, we'll get you. It'll be a few more people on. Yeah. I'll get people like Brother Cody is King up here. Woo-hoo, you'll be mad at me. And then I get maybe a few other brothers up here. We get I Am the Single One up here. I think it'll be fun, kind of like a battle of the sexes kind of thing where people kind of going back and forth because I Am the Single One agrees with you. She's like, no coffee dates. Take me out. If you're gonna take me out, take me out. And I'm like, not me. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Even Cody's laughing. He's like, yeah. He'll come up in here. He's like, woo. And brother Cody's up in Canada. Real cool cat. Appreciate you guys rocking out with us. This was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Brother Penny's like corrected the 4B comment earlier. Not sure if you saw it. I did. Yeah, Ani is it. I did see that, brother. Thank you. My bad. I meant to jump in there, but I wanted to wrap things up. But appreciate it. And that's Brother Pitney. He's the keeper of the wisdom. He knows. I ask him questions. He'll come right back with the stats, like this and that. So, he while you were doing the lights, he posted everything about the 4B movement in Korea, like just that fast. He put it all up there. So, if you watch Team Replay, you can see it, girls. It's good. So, that's it for me. I appreciate you guys checking us out. You know what I mean? Sister Shelby, thank you again so much for being here.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about financing. We'll be talking about the economy. We're going to have the show about the canaries in the coal mine and can sex workers predict a downturn or a recession in our economy. Y'all don't want to miss that. I found some videos on this, guys. Y'all don't want to miss that show. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see y'all then. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.